Welcome to Lesson 10 in Unit 21, From Sun to Food. In the previous lesson, students figured out that decomposers break down dead organisms and use that energy and matter to live. They figured out that decomposers help cycle nutrients and other matter back into the soil and air. In this lesson, students ask questions and define problems concerning resource use and environmental protection in their own school. They conduct research in order to propose solutions to these problems. Students figure out that human activities affect land, water, and air, and therefore affect systems of living things. However, humans can develop solutions to these problems by understanding science ideas. This lesson is approximately 4 days. In the engage portion of this lesson, ask students, now that we have spent time figuring out how energy gets from sun to food and how matter cycles through ecosystems, can we use these ideas to improve or protect our school environment? What do you think our school could do to use less resources and keep the environment, including the water, air, land, and living organisms around the school, healthy? Students may have some ideas, or they may have more questions about this topic. Allow students to discuss how what they have learned might apply to their own school community. Tell students that they are going to do some research to identify a problem and propose a solution that could be implemented at their school. In the explore portion of this lesson, allow students to explore the school environment both inside and outside to define a problem that they could solve using science ideas. To do this, use this adaptation of self-documentation technique. If possible, give students a digital camera or use your phone to help them document what they see around their school, both inside and out, in terms of resource use and the ecosystems present around the school. Also ask students to write down or photograph their daily activities at school that use resources like food, water, paper, etc. You may do this over the course of a day or more depending on how much time you have. If they do not have access to cameras, they can write a descriptive summary of what they see or sketch visual representations in their science notebook. Once students have documented resource use in their environment, have them gather this information and sort the data according to patterns or topics. At this point, you may want to allow students to form small groups so that each group can ask a question or choose a problem for which they would like to develop a solution. Problems that might be identified include lack of recycling or ineffective recycling programs, food waste in the cafeteria, paper waste, lack of green space or native vegetable gardens, a garden area that has been struggling, water overuse and waste, or something else students might come up with that has to do with the science ideas presented in this unit. Students can record their chosen problem or question on student page 22. This should be used to generate group research topic ideas and begin the planning process to conduct their research. In the explain portion of this lesson, students will complete their research about their group solutions. Allow students time to brainstorm solutions to the problem that they have identified. After they have thought on their own, give students time to research ideas for solutions. Depending on whether or not you actually are able to implement student solutions, you may want to put some constraints on the solutions, such as it must be low cost or completely free. See this lesson's extend activity for more information about possibly implementing student solutions at your school. As students are researching, have them record their ideas on Lesson 10 Notes and Planning. See sidebar in the Lesson 10 curriculum for potential ELA connections here. You may want to have your students create a more formal writing and presentation for this lesson. In the elaborate portion of this lesson, allow student groups to present their research and propose their solution choice to their peers. You may want to use a presentation audience template from the Buck Institute of Education. You may also want to adapt the audience template to allow students to rate a proposal for correct use of science ideas, feasibility, and cost. In the evaluate portion of this lesson, facilitate a discussion about which solution students would like to implement in their schools. As students make a claim about which solution they would like to implement, make sure that they use science ideas from the unit as well as consider how feasible this solution would be. If possible, guide students as they actually implement their solution in the school for an added extend opportunity. Students may communicate their ideas to the principal and to other students in their school. They may present to the PTO or PTA to get funding for their project, or may apply for grant money through the Missouri Green School Quest. This might require that students work on the 4th grade team so that their work can be continued into the next year. If your 5th grade students complete a service learning project during the year, consider how you might incorporate their work in the lesson to reach their goal. In this lesson, students asked questions and defined problems concerning resource use and environmental protection in their own school. They conducted research in order to propose solutions to these problems. Students figured out that human activities affect land, water, and air, and therefore affect systems of living things. However, humans can develop solutions to these problems by understanding science ideas. By figuring these things out on a local, smaller scale, they will be able to apply their knowledge to the larger problem of industrial farming and the design challenge in the next lesson.